This chapter is titled The Three Modes of Material Nature. Krishna begins by explaining that he is the seed-giving father of everyone. So, if Krishna is the father of all living entities, of all species of life, then who is the mother? The mother is nature, material nature. So we have the phrase Mother Nature. That's why nature is called Mother. Mother Earth, Mother Nature, and the Father is Krishna. So in the beginning of this chapter he explains that it is I, Krishna, who impregnate material nature with all the living entities and thus make possible the birth of all the different species of life. The Vedic scriptures explain that there are 8.4 million species, and they are all made possible ultimately by the potency of the Lord. Then Krishna introduces a very important concept, the concept of the three modes of material nature. He has spoken about this briefly in previous chapters also, but now he starts extensively discussing this topic. Everyone, every living entity in this material world is tightly bound under the grip of the three modes of material nature. Just as prisoners in a jail are sometimes bound hand and foot by different types of chains, so similarly the living entities in this world are bound by their own conceptions and their activities. The modes of nature keep them bound to the cycle of death and compel them to act in certain ways. There are three modes: the mode of goodness, called Sattva Guna, the mode of passion, called Rajoguna, and the mode of ignorance, called Tamoguna. The mode of goodness conditions one to happiness and knowledge, ordinary material happiness, not spiritual happiness. So it's a conditioning, and it is illuminating by nature. It is born out of purity, of conduct and of thought. The mode of passion, the Rajagun, one is conditioned by fruitive activity, and this mode is characterized by a strong desire for material advancement and enjoyment. There is pride, there is desire, and usually it ends in grief. The mode of passion brings grief. And then there is the mode of ignorance, in which one is conditioned by indolence, sleep, laziness, procrastination. It is born out of darkness of ignorance and conditions one to be forgetful. So these are the three modes, and everyone in this world is bound by a certain combination of these three modes. Someone may be more in the mode of goodness, someone more in the mode of passion, someone more in the mode of ignorance, but everyone has a little bit of something. And there is a constant competition, Lord Krishna explains in this chapter, between these three modes. Sometimes the mode of goodness is strong, sometimes the mode of passion becomes predominant, and sometimes the mode of ignorance becomes strong. And depending on which mode of nature we are conditioned by or we are influenced by, that even determines our next destination after death. So those who die with their consciousness being in the mode of goodness are promoted to the higher planets where the great sages reside. Those who die with their consciousness in the mode of passion, they are reborn amongst people in the human species especially, who work fruitively, who work for material pleasure. And those who are conditioned by the mode of ignorance take birth in the lower species of life, the animal species. So this is a very, very important point that Krishna is making here. So, how important it is for us to understand how the three modes of nature function. But ultimately, Krishna says, even if it is mode of goodness, it's a bondage that makes us take birth again. So we must try to go beyond the three modes of nature. Srila Prabhupada explains that the three modes can be compared to ropes as well. Different color ropes. Let's say there's a prisoner in the jail who is bound by chains of gold. Another prisoner is bound by chains of silver. Another prisoner is bound by chains of iron. And if the prisoner who is bound in gold scorns or mocks the one in iron and says, "Look, I'm so much better than you," but the point is that all three are prisoners. So similarly, whether one is in the mode of goodness or passion or ignorance, ultimately one is bound, and one must try to liberate oneself from the bondage of the three modes. Therefore, one attempts to lead a pure life first. One lives in the mode of goodness because it is in this mode that one can understand spiritual subjects. One tries to give up activities that pertain to the lower modes. And then Krishna, as he invariably does in every chapter, concludes that it is only by devotional service that one can actually cross over this stiff bondage of the three modes of material nature. Mam chayo vibicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So one can transcend the three modes by unfailing devotional service to Krishna. So once again, the conclusion is the same. Serve Krishna purely, become his pure devotee, and get liberated. Thank you.